All right, new problem, same approach. As always, we are going to read that question first, and we're going to allow that to guide us along. So here we go. We are going to read the question first, right here, where it says, what is the per mile rate? So I don't entirely know what this problem is about quite yet, because all I've read is the question sentence. But what I do know, everybody, is that I am looking for the per mile rate. That's a pretty significant keyword, so I'm going to keep that in the back of my mind while I discover what this story is about. And again, whatever the story is about, we want the rate. So here we go. In the FAIR model, F equals all this. Notice I don't really care about trying to read it start to finish. All I know is I'm given an equation, okay? And it represents modeling fares, as in the cost of something. Okay. Oh, and look at this. In parentheses, they tell us F right over here, that means dollars. So let me highlight that right there. They say that D is miles. Okay, I'll highlight that in green. I also see, allow me to change colors here. I also see that M is in dollars per mile. So I'll highlight that in purple. And then I'll use one more color here. I'll change this to brown and I'll say that B is B dollars. Okay, so with that said, everybody, let's take a look at what we're given and what we might be looking for. And at this point, it should already be deducible, or that, hey, the per mile rate, everybody, which letter does that represent? The F, M, D, or B? Which of these letters represents the rate in this particular problem? Yeah, and if you're saying that it's the M, absolutely correct. Absolutely. Because everybody, the key word that distinguishes a rate is going to be the word per, like miles per hour, dollars per mile, dollars per day. The word per is what brings together two units and creates a rate. So the word rate, again, per mile rate, so how much you earn per mile, dollars per mile, that's what gives it away. We are looking for the M, the rate that we charge. So with that, we see that we potentially have everything else listed for us. Again, F is in dollars and so is B. In this case, though, B is going to be the starting amount, and F, notice how F is by itself. Notice how F is the result of all of this happening. F is the final fee, and then B, that's going to be the starting fee, what you pay right when you get in. Everybody, do we see how the base fee, the B, is $3.30, and then the F, the final amount, is $31.50. Do we see that, how I'm about to replace these right over here? $31.50. And the B I'm replacing with $3.30. Again, the base fee right over here, B is the base fee, F is the final fare. How much it is once you take the base fee and you charge the mileage. This is what we pay all at the end. So when we plug in what we have, everybody, what is D going to be? Well, D is the number of miles right here. D is the number of miles. Were we given a number of miles? Were we given a number of miles? We were, and yet it's right here, a 12-mile ride. So that's perfect for us. I'll go ahead and underline that, and we'll replace the D with 12. So M multiplied by 12, and then we will be adding the $3.30. So if you've achieved this point, if you've reached this point, good. This is a very good part to get to, because it shows that you were able to distinguish between all of the pieces of information, and you know what we're looking for. The M, which is the rate. Now, if you're feeling like this is the point where you got a little stuck because, one, solving equations isn't the funnest thing in the world to you, and I'm okay with that. That's okay to say. I respect it. But at the same time, you might also be feeling, hey, maybe I'm okay with equations, but I see decimals, and I don't like that. I also noticed that I got to work backwards. I don't like that either. So who here feels like at this point, this is where you got overwhelmed because it took you so much effort to get to this point, and now you're feeling like there's a whole new problem now in front of your face to do at this point. Yeah, and this is where that comfort is going to come after tons of practice. We've got to practice to be able to get to a point where we can do both of these things in succession without feeling overwhelmed. It takes time, but you'll get there. So again, we're solving for m. Let's go ahead and get it done. Allow me to move this up ever so slightly, and let's solve. So everybody, to get m by itself, I have to get rid of the 12. At the same time, what other value do I also have to get rid of? Not only do I have to get rid of the 12 from this right side of the equation, I got to get rid of that 3.3. Yeah, that $3.30 base fee, I got to get rid of it. So when we think about working backwards and solving equations, remember that we're working backwards from the order of operations. An easy way I like to put it is get rid of the furthest thing from the variable first. Right here, the m and the 12, they are hugging, they're multiplying. That $3.30, that's there by itself. So let's get rid of that first by doing the opposite operation. The opposite of adding $3.30 will be subtracting $3.30 right over here. So 3.30 subtracted on both sides, nice and easy. And we're going to cancel that on the right side, just like so. And now we have 3150 minus 330. So 0 minus 0, 5 minus 3 is 2. Keep that decimal lined up. And then we have 31 minus 3. 31 minus 3, that's going to give us 28. So after subtracting these decimals, we now have $28.20 on the left side. But then we still have m times 12 on the right side. Everybody, one last shot here, one last thing to do. We see that to get to m, we got to get rid of that 12. What is the opposite of multiplying by 12? Yeah, and that's going to be divide. So at this point, if you knew that you had to remove the 330 and you knew you had to divide by 12 on both sides, but you just maybe ran out of time, again, it's still a great place to start because it really shows that you were analytical and you thought about the process before the calculation, and we can always work on speed. Always, always, always. So here we go. Let's do this final division over here on the right side. 12 going into 2820. And what we'll do is keep that decimal right there up top. And let's go. Everybody, 12 goes into 2. It doesn't. 12 goes into 28. How many times? That's going to be a clean 2. Or not a clean 2, actually, because there's going to be a little bit of a remainder. Because 2 multiplied by 12 is 24, and that leaves a remainder of 4. So what we'll do next is we'll drop that 2 right down, and we have 12 going into 42. Again, my party people, how many times does 12 go into 42? That's going to be 3 times. 3 times 12, that gives us 36. So we got close enough. We'll put that 3 right there, and that's going to be 36, and we get 6 left over, and then we'll drop that one last 0. Everybody, how many times does 12 go into 60? That'll be 5 times, exactly 5 times right there. Perfect. We'll subtract 60, and there we go. Our final answer, my party people, is going to be $2.35 per mile, because that is the rate that we were trying to find. $2.35 per mile. And a good way to check your work here, everybody, is to plug the $2.35 right over here for M, and you'll see that all of this together will get us to $31.50.